You know, sharing a meal, it's something we do all over the world. It's so fundamental, so human. But what if there's more to it? What if that simple act, that single plate of food, could actually set off this incredible chain reaction, a ripple effect of good things, not just for the person you're helping, but for you too?
And look, this isn't just some vague feel-good idea, it's a real question. And believe it or not, an ancient philosophy has already mapped out the answer, with, surprising detail. It shows you exactly how giving can create massive, profound change.
So, where does this answer come from? Well, it's from an ancient Buddhist text called the Sūtra on Offering Food. And what's so cool about it is that it's not just philosophical fluff, it's like a blueprint, a step-by-step guide that breaks down the effects of giving into really clear, tangible results.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about that ripple effect idea. Then, we'll dive into the 5 specific blessings that the Sutra talks about. And stick around because at the end, we'll get to the ultimate reward, which is even bigger than all of them combined.
Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, we've got to grasp the core principle here, because this is about more than just being charitable. It's really about a fundamental law of the universe, cause and effect.
The key idea here is something called fortunate retribution. Now, I know what you're thinking. Retribution sounds kind of heavy, right? Like punishment. But in this context, it's not that at all. It's more like a law of nature. Think of it like physics. For every action, there's a reaction. A generous act naturally leads to a positive consequence. It's that simple.
And this is where it gets super interesting, because the sutra isn't vague about it. It doesn't just say, hey, do good things and good things will happen. Nope. It gives you a literal blueprint of 5 specific blessings that come from the simple act of giving food.
That's right, 5 of them. It's a key number here, and it really helps frame these powerful ideas so we can remember them.
So here they are: the gift of life, radiance, strength, peace, and clarity. We're going to break each one down, and you'll see how they all connect to create this complete picture of total well-being. All right, let's jump in with the first one. And really, this is the big one, the absolute foundation. When you give someone food, you are literally giving them the gift of life.
What's so powerful here is how directly the text links food and life. I mean, it makes a pretty stark claim. Without food, life is over in about 7 days. That's intense. It's a huge reminder that food isn't just nice to have, it's the absolute bedrock of our physical existence.
So, what happens to the person who gives? What's their part of the deal? Well, the sutra says that by sustaining someone else's life, that ripple effect comes back to you as a long, healthy life free from an early death. It's a perfect loop, isn't it? The gift you give is the gift you get back. Okay, moving on. The next 2 blessings are all about that visible, physical energy you get from food. You know, it's one thing to survive, but this is about actually thriving. So, blessing number 2 is radiance. And I love the way the text describes this. It says, without food, your appearance is withered and dull. But with food, you become radiant and glowing. We all kind of know this instinctively, right? Real health, real vitality, it just shines out of you. And guess what? The blessing for the giver is a perfect mirror of that. By giving someone else the gift of radiance, you, in turn, are said to receive your own exceptional beauty and grace. Makes sense, right?
And that brings us to blessing number 3, strength. The contrast here is just as stark. Without food, the body is weak and feeble. But with food, it's strong and vibrant. Think about it. You're literally handing someone the fuel they need to move, to work, to actually live their life.
And you can probably see the pattern by now. The person who gives strength is blessed right back with incredible physical power themselves. By empowering someone else physically, you empower yourself. It's a beautiful symmetry. So the first few blessings were very physical, right? Now we're going to shift gears a little bit. The next 2 dive deeper into our internal world, our mind, our sense of peace, and even how we communicate. Blessing number 4 is peace. And the sutra makes this really profound connection. It points out that when you're starving, your mind is anxious, your body is restless. We've all felt a little hangry, right? But this is on another level. Hunger isn't just physical pain, it's deep mental stress. So when you give food, you're not just filling a stomach, you're giving comfort, ease, a moment of peace. So, the blessing that comes back to the giver is exactly that, a life of peace. And we're not just talking about a quiet mind. We're talking about a life that's genuinely free from trouble, where your body and your mind are both strong and calm. You give peace, you get peace. Simple as that.
Okay, and the fifth and final blessing is clarity, or you could call it eloquence. Now this is fascinating stuff. The text points out something we might not think about. When you're weak from hunger, your mind gets foggy, and it can be literally hard to even form words. But with nourishment, your thoughts get sharp, and your speech becomes clear and powerful.
So what's the payback? By helping someone else think clearly, the giver is blessed with wisdom and this incredible flowing eloquence. You become the kind of person who speaks, and people don't just listen, they're actually delighted to hear what you have to say. How amazing is that?
So there you have it. 5 incredible blessings that create this perfect cycle of giving and receiving. But wait, there's more. The Sutra says that's not even the end of the story. There's a way to take this simple act and elevate it to a whole new level.
And this is where we see a huge shift in thinking, because it all comes down to one thing: your intention. Why are you giving? If you're just doing it to get these 5 blessings back, fine, that's what'll happen. But if you give with a much bigger purpose, what the text calls an aspiration for the way, which is basically a selfless wish to help everyone, then the results, the blessings, they become absolutely limitless.
And when it says limitless, it means limitless. We're talking about true, deep transformation. This kind of intention leads to profound wisdom, that flawless eloquence we talked about, and it actually puts you on the path towards what this philosophy calls enlightenment. That's a state where you're in the best possible position to help everyone else. Just think about that. Your intention can turn a simple meal into something with the highest spiritual potential imaginable.
So in the end, what this sutra lays out is this beautiful, perfect system, a loop where giving life, radiance, strength, peace, and clarity brings all of that right back to you, but with the potential for something so much bigger. It really leaves us with a simple but pretty powerful question to think about in our own lives.